David McDonnell, the Manchester football correspondent for the Daily Mirror.
Yeah, my name's James Cooper, James Cooper, Cooper for Sky Sports.
He's always said that he's going to give the players who haven't played much this season some game time tomorrow. So it'll be an unfamiliar Manchester United side, players that haven't featured really much this season. So I think it's going to be an interesting test for them. Obviously Feyenoord are doing really well, 5 wins out of 5, so they're on a good run, and it'll be a big test for United.
I think it's a difficult one. I think for Manchester United it's a competition they probably don't want to be in. They want to be in the Champions League, as José Mourinho said, and they want to win a Premier League. But I think he likes the idea perhaps of never defending his title that he won in 2003. And Manchester United would like to win a trophy they've never won before. Feyenoord have won it twice, of course. Manchester United would like to complete their set. So I think it's an interesting one, but I think you'll get a better game simply because of what happened on Saturday in the Manchester derby.
I'd expect Martial to play, possibly Ibrahimovic to have a rest. If they can get a couple of goals or get a goal and maybe get a result without Ibrahimovic, that's a bonus for them, because obviously he's an important player for them, but he's the kind of player at 34 who also needs rest. So I think if they can get the kind of result they want, maybe a draw or better still a win for United without Ibrahimovic, that would suit them definitely.
We're all wondering here in Rotterdam who's going to play for Man United, Ibrahimovic, Pogba. We know Rooney isn't part of the squad. Who do you think is going to play of the big stars?
Yeah, it's a difficult question. He's got so many options. I think, obviously, I think a lot of the Dutch people would like to see Memphis playing and like to see Daley Blind play. I think both of them will play some sort of part in the game. I think Zlatan probably is like to start up front, and I think the fact he's brought him and not Rooney perhaps means that Martial might play on one flank and Rashford on another, rather than Rashford playing perhaps down the middle. And I think that might mean Mato Herrera plays in at number 10. So I think you'll see plenty of the big stars, but I think, as I said, the fact they lost the Manchester derby means they're going to come here with a point to prove, and I think perhaps that won't be so good for Feyenoord.
What do you know about Feyenoord? How are people in England looking at Feyenoord?
Well, we all know Dirk Kuyt, of course, from his time at Liverpool and with the Dutch team. Obviously, we know Brad Jones as well. I don't know a huge amount about them. Obviously, there have been some great games in the past. Back in 1997, the 3-1 obviously here. So there's a bit of history between United and Feyenoord. But I mean, they've certainly started the season extremely well. They're obviously full of confidence. They're a young side, I believe. So it'll be a great experience for them. But I expect United to play a few youngsters as well. So it'll certainly be an even contest between the two sides.
We know Feyenoord are a big team. They're a well-supported team. We know a lot about your fans, and we know that there were problems back in '97 when Manchester United were here last time. We know some of the pedigree of the players. We saw Dirk Kuyt. We know that he doesn't like Manchester United very much. We know that, of course, you're top of the table, albeit Feyenoord have yet to play some of the big teams in Holland. It's PSV at the weekend, so maybe for Bram Bronkhorst there's an argument that says going to PSV is bigger than playing Manchester United, but I think they know it's a battle, and I think perhaps potentially it might be the most difficult game United face on the pitch, though going to Russia and going to Turkey, to Istanbul, won't be easy from a travelling sense.
How important is the Europa League for you, Man United?
It's a difficult question, that, because there's no hiding the fact they would rather be in the Champions League. That's where they feel they should be. Obviously Louis van Gaal wasn't able to take them there last season, and Jose has talked about, he's been honest and said, look, we'd rather be not in this competition, but we have a duty to respect it. It's difficult for English teams. We saw with United on the 2 occasions they've played in this competition in the past, they've struggled with the Thursday-Sunday format. Players, it's very strange, they can't get used to that. And I think Jose was talking about how the fixtures might not be kind to them in terms of the way they fall. So it'll be interesting to see how they cope with it. They will show it respect, but I don't think they'll be too disappointed if they don't progress.
What are your thoughts on the fact that the stadium is helpful?
Yeah, well, it won't be good, because I think we're all coming here hoping to see the sort of atmosphere that people talk about with Feyenoord. This is such a famous old stadium, kind of built in the 1930s, and people know about the noise here. They know it's not a nice place to play football. Now, both managers have talked about it, both players have talked about it. I'm afraid those, fans who are guilty of what they were doing have kind of messed it up for everybody. Everyone understands that, and I think everyone hopes that people can move on, but I think probably it's to United's advantage and to Feyenoord's disadvantage that it's going to be half full tomorrow.
Prediction for tomorrow?
I think it'll be an unfamiliar United team, and I think they may struggle. So I'll go for a draw, possibly a Feyenoord win. I think United will treat this competition, with as much respect as they can. But I think we all know that they have bigger prizes like the Premier League and trying to win the title than the Europa League.
Looking at the team that he'd probably play and the way he was going about that, I think he wants to win this game to get 3 points on the board. I think everyone knows that it's 10 or 11 points probably gets you through. You get 3 points, you win your home games and you're through. So I think, as I said, the Manchester derby comes into this. If Manchester United won the Manchester derby, I think they'd come here and said, look, we'll take a point in Holland and that'll be good enough for us. But everyone knows their backs against the wall. They're the second best team in Manchester at the moment. I think they want to prove a point tomorrow and get 3 points here. So I'd expect United to win. But having said that, Feyenoord have conceded, I think, 2 goals and scored 16. So this is not going to be an easy game in any way.